Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from simpleprogrammer.com, and today I thought I would do an interview on a book. An interview? How about a book review? I'm going to interview this book. Ready, book? Tell me, what caused you to decide that you wanted to become a book? Anyway, it's a long day today. I'm doing a lot of videos in batch. I'll be honest with you, because I want to take a little bit of a break for a few days, so I'm trying to get a lot of videos recorded. And I didn't get a lot of sleep, so bear with me here. Anyway, I'm doing a review today on a book that I finished that has been recommended to me many times, and it is called Snow Crash. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this book, and some of you aren't going to like my review here. So I'll be honest with you. When I first started the book, I really didn't like it at all. It just was not connecting with me. It was just too much stuff going on, too much information to process. I still kind of have that impression of the book, but as I got towards the end of the book, I started to like it more. It is a very strange book. It's a book that I recommend reading, even though I don't particularly love the book. Like, it's not that, the story is not that interesting. There's a lot of details. It's kind of hard to follow. The author, which is Neal Robinson, is that Neal Stephenson? Anyway, he goes through a lot of like dialoguing where he basically lays out the whole thing for you, where it's like one of those things where he like spells it all out for you in certain like twice he does this very long monologue spelling out all these details. But it's very interesting, right? So a lot of concepts between philosophy and linguistics, neurolinguistics, and there's a lot of really interesting things that are going on in this book, a lot of futuristic stuff, especially considering when this book was written, which was in the 90s, right? So I think I can understand why so many people recommend this book. I think if you read this around the time it was published or slightly afterwards, then it's much more impressive of a book, because it sort of predicted some of the future here, and it was just kind of a revolutionary book at the time. But does it stand the test of time today? Not quite as much. I think it's still an interesting book. It's still an interesting story, especially if you're a software developer. Again, some of you are going to put my head on a stake because I don't love Snow Crash, but you know what? I understand why some people would love it, but I'm just being honest. It was not a book that I was like, oh yeah, I have to. I read Ready Player One. You could check out that book here. And I liked that book. That book connected with me a lot more than Snow Crash did. I just felt like Snow Crash was a little bit difficult to follow. The story wasn't that great, and there was a lot of kind of bizarre stuff in there that just didn't really make a lot of sense to me. And one of the things when you have these kind of books where it combines history and philosophy and stuff like that is, I don't want to like fact check. Like in my mind, it's going off. I'm like, is that really true? Like, these are interesting connections, but how much of this is stretch and how much of it is real? And sometimes, that kind of distracts me from the book. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on it. I don't read a lot of fiction books. Like I said, I listened to the audio version of this book, again, Snow Crash. You can check out it here. And I thought that the narration was decent. I didn't think it was great. I was listening to on the 3x speed, so that definitely does have an effect on a fiction book, but not something I would highly recommend. It's one of those books that a lot of programmers recommend because it's about programming, essentially programming the metaverse and kind of crazy cool stuff and futuristic stuff, and some extreme versions of where the world might be heading, and it's a very interesting science fiction world in reality. I just didn't think that the book was all that well written, and that's just my opinion on it. So anyway, if you want to check out the book, check it out if you haven't already. And if you want to get more reviews, you can check out my list of all the book reviews I've done here. Check out this playlist. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you want to continue to get reviews. If you want some career advice, I do about 2 to 3 videos a day. I know that's kind of crazy, but that's what I do. You don't have to watch them all. But if you do want to watch them all, click that little bell by the subscribe button, and you'll definitely get an update every single time I publish a video. All right, I'll talk to you next time. Take care.